हमारी जो आज का समय था 2:30 बजे से 4 बजे तक, और उसमें हमारी जो प्रमुख वक्ता है डॉक्टर शाहीन मैम, वो बहुत देर से हमारे बीच में मौजूद है, और मैं उनका भी हार्दिक स्वागत अभिनंदन करते हुए उनसे सादर अनुमोदन करती हूँ कि वो अनुरोध करती हूँ कि वो अपना जो प्रस्तुति है वो प्रारंभ करें।
Sure, thank you. So, yeah, I'll begin my presentation right now. Mazhar Zaidi, I think you are the person who coordinates, right? So I'll do the screen sharing. Thank you.
Yeah, ma'am. Please do that.
Yeah, fine. Thank you. So, yeah. In case if it's not working, there's one more device which I would like to log in. Is the screen visible? Let me know. Okay.
Ma'am, you just select the entire screen option. Then it will be okay for us.
This one.
I think you have selected the window option.
Okay.
Just exit from the screen sharing, and then
screen sharing
select the entire screen option.
Against okay. In this, what I should do? Window. Okay.
No. Entire screen.
Oh, entire screen. Okay. Fine. 1 second. Okay. Now is it visible?
Wait, I think it's going to get visible. It will take. No, it's not yet visible. Now it's visible. Now it's coming visible. Yeah. Now you can open your PPT. We can see it.
Okay, 1 second. Okay. Is it visible now?
Yeah, perfectly visible. You can just put it on.
I changed the page also. You can see it, right?
Yes, you can put it on slideshow mode.
Okay, fine. Right.
Yeah, it's coming full screen. Perfectly fine, ma'am. You may start, please.
Okay, fine. Thank you. Good afternoon, all of you. The topic in which I'm going to speak is global mindedness and university etiquettes. So this is the topic that we did discuss and finally deliberate upon to go ahead. So what is global mindedness? So there will be some interaction with the audience also, because I would like to get some answers as well. So what is global mindedness? Any idea? Anyone? Okay. I think we will have question and answers in the end, maybe. Is it fine? Hello?
Yeah, ma'am.
Yeah. I think somebody should respond to me, because for me it's a full screen.
You're requested to please at least respond.
Okay, fine. So yeah, global mindedness. What is global mindedness? So there is no particular definition which you could say what exactly is global mindedness. But still, I have added a little bit of information from here and there. First thing is understanding and respecting people from different cultures and embracing diversity. There are multiple definitions available online in different forums about global mindedness. We can say that, okay, these are the factors which together contribute what is global mindedness. So it is a multifaceted concept that is very hard to define in one single definition. But at the same time, there are many nuances which you can come across, which will contribute together what exactly is global mindedness. Okay, I've changed the screen to the next slide. So global mindedness is also known as international mindedness. For example, it's an ability to be prepared for 21st century challenges, understanding ourselves to connect with others, how to know about the world we live in, and how we understand and respect other people's cultures, languages, and practices, how to become a responsible citizen. If we contribute, if we add together all these aspects together, it will become a uniformed, a way in which you can say that, okay, this is what is international mindedness. Am I clear to all? Can I go ahead?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
Yes,
Thank you. Yeah. So there is a quote. It's a quote by Martin Luther King, who speaks about that before you finish eating breakfast this morning, you would have depended upon more than half the world, says Martin Luther King. I'm pretty sure that you would have come across this idea lot many places. So what exactly is that, it's not just we are having breakfast, the same time we are dependent upon a lot many other things from across the globe, which connects into one uniform factor. So there is a video in which I'm going to play. I want to see whether it is, if there is an issue in audio or issues, just let me know. All right, I'm going to click on it. Is the voice visible, audio visible?
Audio.
No, ma'am. No, ma'am.
It is just
Ma'am, audio is
music.
not visible.
It is just music, so it's fine. I'll just play. It's just music. All right. It's just
Audio not
there is no dialogue or anything. Okay. Okay. Now, am I audible?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
Yeah.
ma'am.
Yes. So, yeah, you've seen the video, right? So it actually, sums up what exactly I'm trying to tell, that, when we are having food, it's not just the food that we have sourced from the supermarket or the food that we are having in the morning. It's like, it shows like how dependent we are, different countries or across the globe in order to get each and every ingredient. For example, the last one was about wasabi and how, you get an ingredient and what is the workforce that is involved in procuring those food onto our table. Okay, now I'm moving on to the next slide. What are the factors which influences global mindedness? So there are multiple factors which come across. As in the beginning, I've already mentioned, we cannot say that it is just one definition as such. There are multiple factors which contribute in order to become a globally minded citizen or an individual. So the first one is global workforce, or you can come across in any form. Make sure that all these elements are covered, which will together make you globally minded. Globalization, global awareness, global citizenship, global competency, global education, global literacy, and global perspectives, and global workforce. So when we cover all these aspects together, we'll have an idea of, okay, what exactly is being globally minded. Now, first thing is, who is a global citizen? A global citizen is someone who identifies with being part of an emerging world community and whose actions contribute towards the building up of this community's values and practices. So the first thing that I would like to speak in this area is that it is about how you recognize as a global citizen and not necessarily, restrain yourself to a particular country or a particular region by being non-inclusive. So if you have to break those barriers and really come forward, then only you can recognize as, okay, I'm a global citizen. Now, what is global citizenship? As I did show in the previous slide, I did mention all these aspects over here, which I will be explaining in detail one by one. The first one is a global citizen, which we did cover. If you do have any doubts with regard to any of these areas, you can just quickly ask me to stop so that I can discuss to you here itself before we go on to the question answer session. Okay. So what is global citizenship? So there are multiple areas in which I have highlighted. The first thing is that developing critical thinking about complex global issues, exploring, developing and expressing values and opinions, and listening and respecting one's own point of views. At the same time, it is also the knowing to exercise one's own rights and responsibilities to others. How being globally aware, or what exactly means by global citizenship. Because in the previous slide, we mentioned about how to become a global citizen. So how do we break boundaries and how do we become recognized as a global citizenship? In order to become a global citizen, you say that, okay, I'm from a particular country and my culture is non-inclusive. You cannot say that. But at the same time, you have to be more acceptable, or in the form and way in which you speak and express should be much more accommodating other people's sentiments, feelings, and values. Okay. Now there is another cartoon which speaks about equality and equity. What does this image signify? Can anyone explain? What is equality and what is equity? I think it's pretty much clear in this image. Can anyone just mention a word or two about this?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Hi. So what is equality and equity?
Ma'am, good afternoon, ma'am.
Hi, good afternoon.
Yeah, this is Rusha.
Okay,
Equity, I believe, according to this image, you're pushing and keeping a level
yes.
of each and every. According to this image, and equality is giving a stool to a same stool to everyone. That is equality. But equity is pushing the downer one or the shorted height one to the same level, so that
Yeah.
this is
Yeah. So that's more or less correct. Thank you so much. So equality is by providing the same resources to everyone. Okay, irrespective of anything, everyone is provided with the same box. Whether that the box is useful to you as a person or not is never accounted. Look at the outcome. A person cannot see, the other person can barely reach, the one person is really comfortable. So that is equality. For example, I'm distributing everyone, the same marks or the grades in classrooms or in a university. For example, I expect that everyone would fulfill the same criteria because this is the only thing that I'm providing. Whereas equity is to help the person who is in need. For example, the first person does not require a box at all in order to stand. He can anyway watch the match. Whereas the second person require it, but the third person require double boxes. So the same time, the result will be that, okay, all three people will be at the same time able to watch the match. Okay, so it's like you custom make and tailor make things according to the requirement rather than clinging on to certain norms that, for example, this is what we provide more, but we have to be more accommodative. In the case, for example, in our classrooms, we come across students of different learning capabilities. We come across students who are slow learners or, are excellent or good in class. At the same time, if we give the same exam for all the three, that will be the case of equality. At the same time, if you could give exercises or activities which would enrich, a proficient learner, it will also be beneficial for everybody. Okay, I hope I am clear in this equality and equity.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So different cultures and ethnicities. Thank you so much. Social justice and equity, globalization and interdependence, global environment issues, sustainable development, political issues and conflicts. We have to be aware of all these aspects one by one in order to become a globally, acceptable citizen, or you'll know about the world properly. What are the different cultures and ethnicities? So that only if you're aware of about the different cultures and ethnicities, you will be able to be more acceptable, or you will be able to recognize. At the same time, you should be aware about globalization, interdependence, social justice and equity, which I already mentioned over here. What are the environmental issues? What are SDGs or sustainable development goals, or the political issues and conflicts? Okay. Global citizens in the 21st century are linked socially, culturally, economically, environmentally, politically. Can you give me one example? How are we linked with one another? The food was one example. Can anyone say any one example in which we are linked socially, culturally, economically, environmentally, and politically?
Social networking sites.
Yes. Wow.
Social networking sites.
Wow. Thank you. What's your name?
Rusha.
Inshallah. That's excellent, because we are all connected on different platforms, be it LinkedIn or social media or anywhere. We are all connected in all these aspects. Earlier, it was very difficult for us to coordinate with one another, to reach out to the other. But right now, we are all connected on our fingertips. Okay, good. Now, from global mindedness, we are moving on to Vasudeva Kutumbakam, which is a Sanskrit term, Vasudeva Kutumbakam. I'm pretty sure that you would have been familiar with this concept before. I have explained it. What is Vasudeva Kutumbakam? Vasudeva, Vasudha means earth, and Kutumbakam means family. The Sanskrit phrase which means that world is one single family. Okay, coming back again to our idea of global mindedness, that is how to respect different viewpoints. Now there's a definition of Vasudeva Kutumbakam is the last one that's mentioned. Animals, birds, plants, trees, and other organisms in the ecosystem have Atma, and they are part of our family. Not just we are being connected with the people who are living, but also everything together constitutes, how to be globally aware and how to be globally minded. Vasudeva Kutumbakam. Now, the similar concept which we are similar to Vasudeva Kutumbakam is also explored in different cultures across the globe. For example, there is a theory developed by Marshall McLuhan which mentions about global village, the same as Vasudeva Kutumbakam, where the world is one family and we are all existing along with the other birds, animals, and bees, and humanity, along with all the other living organisms on this planet. Now, the same concept is to be found in Sangam as a Tamil poem, where the name of the poem is Yadum Ure Yavadum Kelir, which means every country is my own and all the people are my kinsmen. Another concept in African tribe of Ubuntu, which expresses humanity as the characteristic of the society rather than individuals. Okay. Now, there is one video which about Vasudeva Kutumbakam. It's actually a Z advertisement, and there is no audio is just music. There are no dialogues, because earlier also when I did share, the audio of the video was not visible, or you were not able to hear it. So I'm going to play it. There is no what I can say is that there is no dialogues. Are we good to go?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Okay. Am I audible?
Yes, ma'am.
Music was not at all audible for everyone, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah,
You are
it's
audible.
okay. Just a musical video.
You
Yeah,
are
I'm
audible.
for some. I am audible, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, ma'am. You're
Okay,
audible.
no problem. I will share this video also link. So it's a musical video which speaks about the same thing that we were discussing right now about Vasudeva Kudumbakam. I hope it's clear to all. Can I move on to the next?
Sure, ma'am.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So yeah. Now, knowledge of global mindedness helps to express happiness, love, and respect for others. Now, in different countries, how do we, we understood what is global mindedness. We understood, what is Vasudeva Kutumbakam, how to be international mindedness. Now, what exactly are the nuances in our day-to-day life, which we come across, which speaks about global mindedness or how to become globally, aware. So, for example, in Argentina, a light handshake and a nod shows respect when greeting the other. So they don't encourage having a firm handshake or the other because for them it's considered offensive. Whereas in USA, quite informal way of communication, a handshake, a smile, and a hello is quite formal for them. Whereas in India, it's namaste, placing both hands together, slight bow, a very common non-verbal communication and shows respect. Whereas in China, they don't like to be touched by strangers. They avoid body contact. So if you know that, okay, this is how it has been, how we greet in a different country, or how this is how it is, a light handshake or a firm handshake or a hello or a namaste, or maybe, you will be much more confident while you travel internationally, or you will be, or for example, you have students in your classrooms who are coming from different backgrounds, you'll know like, okay, this is how they are. And it's not being rude or anything. It's because it is the culture that they are coming from, and that is how they are. So it is the knowledge of how to be globally minded and being more acceptable. In order to be globally minded, you have to be aware of, what are the practices that these people follow across. Now, so another example of a cultural difference, which is mentioned over here. In Singapore, it is illegal to chew gum in public spaces, whereas in Brunei, the sale and consumption of alcohol is strictly prohibited. In Korea, people bow instead of shaking hands when they greet. Imagine you break down these one by one, you are unaware of it, or maybe the students are unaware of it. Imagine the consequences that you would have to face. So that's the reason why I'll connect back to the previous idea, which we already mentioned, that how to be globally aware. At the same time, the more information you gather, for example, you're traveling to a different country as part of your holiday, it's always good to know, rather than the hotels that you check in or the places you visit, what are the cultural differences that the country has, so that you will not fall into, unforeseen circumstances where you do not know what was happening and you're punished. Okay. Now, body languages or global etiquettes or kinesics. Now, what are the different gestures, postures, and physical appearance and facial expressions that you need to be aware while you are, dealing with people or while you travel internationally? Gestures, for example, the physical movements of hand, legs, or the body language. Postures, the way you stand and sit and walk. Physical appearance, grooming, and personal hygiene. And what are the facial expressions? But there are different facial expressions, because you may think that, okay, non-verbal communication, I'm not going to speak, so people will not be able to understand what is happening in our mind. As teachers of the universities and different colleges, we all know that it's easy for us to figure out what's happening in, what are your students thinking. So this is a quiz kind. These are some of the examples of universal gestures. So I would like to get some answers. What does the first image mean? Anyone? What does clasping fingers mean? Hello? Hello, am I
Ma'am,
audible?
good evening, ma'am.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
ma'am. Good
What does this
evening, ma'am.
mean?
I am
Good
Dr.
evening.
Meenus Roy.
Okay.
I think,
What is,
ma'am, this is showing that, yes, ma'am, a person is sitting and thinking, ma'am, something, what to do now. I
okay.
think this is showing, yes.
Okay. Others?
Shows is a nervousness of someone.
Nervousness. Okay.
I think they are seeking guidance or,
Okay.
or requesting for
Seeking
help.
guidance. Okay. Where do we usually come across this?
Body language.
Yeah, body language. So where do we come across this? Usually, for example, attending an interview, all right?
Attending in meetings.
Yeah, correct. Where the person is not ready to disclose any information beyond the point. Okay, holding information. All right. And what does second image mean? This one. This one.
Confidence.
Okay. Anyone else?
Leadership.
Leadership. Okay. This image.
Expressing themselves.
Okay. And what about this?
This man is
Observing something.
This man is
Observing something. This one. What about Obama?
Obama
Okay.
is listening.
Listening. Okay. And this one? This person?
I think he's observing.
He is also
Huh?
Invigilating.
just like the relaxed mode.
Okay, I think it's interesting actually. I'm getting very different, varied responses. Okay, anyone else? Any four, all the four. Can you just explain? And anybody? Any attempt? So the first one is, I will just explain, I already explained the answer. The person is not ready to divulge information beyond the point. Usually when you interview students or you go for interviews and all, you can see that the person is confident, but at the same time not ready to give you more information. This one is also, it's not about confidence. It is like, beyond the point, the person is not ready to, accept. Okay, it's cross hands. For example, the person is not ready. The person may be listening, but will not be able to divulge any information. Over here, it indicates hidden agenda. Okay. And over here, Obama, we can see that it is the power and the confidence, authority. Okay. Can I move on? I think more or less it's correct only, slightly here or the other. Can I move on to the next one? Okay.
Can all the pictures can suggest a single meaning, or they may have more than one meaning also?
Can have more than one meaning. Can have more than one meaning. But in order to reiterate that this means authority, I have kept this. Confidence can also come under this. Okay.
One question
Yes.
more.
Yes.
The question is, we have two types of communication: verbal communication and non-verbal communication.
Yes,
So,
correct.
in conveying any message, which type of communication plays more role in communicating it?
Depends upon the context. For example, you are in a classroom, you are teaching. All right, you have to deliver the information. You cannot deliver the information by not communicating, right? So the communication works because you have to deliver a module and the students have to listen to it. Whereas these are all non-verbal aspects. For example, you may think that, okay, I am not conveying anything, but your gestures would actually speak volumes. So if you are conscious about this, you may not do it intentionally. That's what we're trying to discuss.
Thank you, ma'am.
Because, for example, if I'm just going to go to a class and stand like this, the person over here, nobody will understand, okay, what exactly the scenario. Unless you are in conversation with the person and the person is behaving in such a way, only giving you an answer in one word or two, then you understand, okay, there is something which the person is not ready to divulge. Okay, so
Yes,
that you can move on to the next conversation or not, that depends over here entirely. All right?
Thank you.
Okay. Now, moving on to the next one. What does this mean? This is also
Best.
Perfect.
Perfect.
Excellent.
Okay. Excellent. Okay. Excellent. Perfect.
Ma'am, I
Any
think it's
answer?
excellent.
What?
Excellent, perfect.
Excellent. Perfect. And there are multiple meaning for this. Okay. Any other interesting answers?
Can the meaning of this thing be culturally bound? Means in one culture it is
Different
acceptable and the
cultures.
symbol.
Yeah. That's what I want.
So according to culture, it may convey different meaning also. In our culture, it
Different
may
meaning. Mean one thing. For example, for us it must be okay, good, etc. So here you can see the answers. Okay, cross-cultural communication. For UK and USA, it means okay or perfect. Russia, it means zero. In Brazil, it's an insult. Okay, in Japan, it means money. Okay, So I hope I have cleared the answer over here for all of you. So what we mean over here may have a different meaning and connotation in different country. Okay. Now another one. What does this mean?
Victory sign. Victory sign.
Victory.
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 Okay. Any other meaning?
Victory.
Victory only. Only
Ma'am,
victory.
again, the meaning it may vary. Just
Okay.
like when we are equating something and somebody is struggling and finding out whether it is bilevel B or fricative B, then we have to make this type of symbol to indicate that this is fricative B.
Fricative consonants. Okay, fine. While you speak. Okay, fine. Any other interpretation? Victory. Okay. Now let's see what's the answer is. It's a harmless symbol for peace, whereas in Australia, UK, Ireland, and New Zealand, seen as rude and frequently used to signify contempt or defiance towards authority. That means you're against the government. So it is not victory. It is a punishment or an offensive thing that if you go to a different country and if you show this gesture. Okay. Now we have to be very much conscious about our gestures, I guess. Okay. Now the next idea which I'm going to discuss over here is situations and local awareness to be kept in mind when you're traveling globally. Now we did discuss about how to be a global citizen, how to be aware of the body languages. Now use local transport, travel light, less of cash and valuables, general understanding, be aware of the surroundings, have a local friend, know the local language, be aware of local clothing, be aware of ways to display public affection. Public affection, I did discuss in the beginning about how different countries have their own ways of greeting and their own tradition and cultures. Local clothing is always good because if you are dressed like an odd one out, it's easy for you to be recognized by other for the wrong reasons. So it's always good to be dressed like how the people dress in that particular country. It'll be easy for you to be less targeted. Know the local language. If you don't know the local language, have a guide or a local friend and be aware of your surroundings. And always use local transport. Okay, moving on to the next slide. Yeah, always look for important signals and warnings. No traffic rules. Avoid using mobile phones or earphones while on road. Yes, who's this? I think for someone the mic is on. Okay. This is very important because traffic signals and warnings and all, if you don't follow, so countries are strict in monitoring it and you may end up paying heavy fines. So it's good to know about the traffic rules, signals, and avoid using mobile phones or earphones while you are traveling on the road. Be self-aware. Work on becoming more aware of your words and actions. What seems appropriate to you may not be a cultural norm to another person. So not just, by following the body language and being culturally aware of things, but at the same time, you should also be aware about the cultural norm of the other person so that you are not even intentionally or unintentionally hurting anybody. Okay. Practice patience. Try not to get irritated if communication takes an extra level first. For example, some people are really loud when they talk to each other, but being loud does not mean that the person is actually rude. Okay, at the same time, because for them it's quite natural for them to speak loudly. Whereas there are certain group of people who speak loud when they are really angry. So if you have to understand and in order to take the conversation further, you must understand that is the person genuinely angry. So if that is the scenario, how to handle it. Try not to get irritated if communication takes a little extra effort at first. Instead of getting impatient if they don't understand your point, try to treat it as a learning experience. Be patient with yourself. Okay. Next one. Okay, this is a video about dining etiquettes. Okay, now I think I'll have to explain because the audio is not visible to all or you're not able to hear it properly. I will take you through one by one segment and I'll explain what it is. Okay, good.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
So what does what are the 10 international food etiquettes? Okay. So in France, if you are traveling, it's common to keep the bread on the table rather than in the plate. So in US, it's okay to flip a fish and eat, whereas in China, if you flip a fish, it's considered offensive. Because it's considered offensive. So when you're traveling, it's good to eat in similar manner where you just the bone aside. So in America, it's good to tip for food, whereas in Japan, if you tip for food, it's considered offensive. That means that food is not good. So if you leave the chopstick standing in Japan, for example, over the food, it's considered offensive because people usually leave it during funerals. How in India and the Middle East, they follow eating habits that we are all familiar with. So if you're traveling to Chile, it is offensive to eat with your hands, always advisable, even if it's a burger also, you have to have it with a fork and a knife. So in America, how do they have the custom of thanking for the food and having together, whereas in Ethiopia, they all eat together from the same plate. So in Russia, if you're offered vodka in the morning, it has to be accepted or else it's offensive. Whereas in America, they are strictly into coffee cultures. So that's how they start their work. Okay, so these are about the different coffee cultures, where in certain countries we have coffee in the morning, where in certain countries, especially in Italy and all, it's considered that okay, in the afternoon, it's a part of a snack. Whereas in some countries, it's part of the breakfast, where in some countries, it's like part of daily. And whatever you do, or maybe in the morning, in the afternoon, or in the dinner, you can go ahead. So these are some of the dining etiquettes. Some of the dining etiquettes are familiar, I know. The first one, I did mention about how bread is considered not a part of entree, but at the same time, it has to be considered along with the food. Whereas the other one, flipping a fish, is considered offensive in China because if you want to have a fish, you have to remove the bone from above and have it, or else if you flip the fish, it's considered as very offensive. Now, this is about tipping the waiter, especially for the food, because the reason why in Japan it is not acceptable because they consider that the food is really good and it's the service charge is already included in the food that has been served. Okay, yeah, these are some of the areas which I did want to discuss about food and dining etiquettes. Now, moving on to the next, use humor carefully. Now, humor is an excellent way to ease tension. It can serve as a way to make people feel comfortable and even more connected to each other. Different people have different sense of humor. Before making a joke, try to make sure that it may be construed as offensive. So over here, I can say that what is humorous for you may not be humorous for another person in a different culture. It may be something highly offensive. Just like in the case of body language, where we did, see how what you meant victory or how you meant, excellent can mean insulting in a different culture. Similarly, the use of certain words or, gestures, which you think that, okay, it's a lighter form, may not be humorous for another person from a different culture. Okay. Now accept differences. Be aware that there will be likely differences in communication styles. Accept that there might be differences in addressing conflicts, and how you encounter differences will be willing to be adaptable. You might need to alter some of your habits in order to make the work relationship more constructive. You have to be willing to accept differences from different communities and different ways so that you will be able to understand and take the conversation further. Now another activity, another quiz. Okay, what is this? Which festival is this?
Holy celebration, ma'am.
Holy
Holy celebration, ma'am.
Holy.
Wow. Okay, in which
Holy
month
celebration.
we celebrate Holi? Which
March.
month?
Ma'am,
March.
you can hide that icon.
Pardon,
Stop
March.
it.
March and April.
March,
You can hide
March
most
and
probably
April.
March.
Okay, fine, March. Okay, now we are going to see such kind of practices in different countries. So which festival is this? Previous one we did see Holi. Now
I
what is
think
this?
European countries, fine. Yes.
Okay, it's similar to Holi. There is we celebrate with colors. Over here it is something else. Anyone? Give it a try. No, it's good to hear from everyone actually.
No, this is like a burned oil.
Okay,
This is a kind of celebration.
it's a celebration. It's a festival. Okay, here's the answer. It's a tar festival in Spain. It's called in Casablanca. So they celebrate with tar. Okay, where we celebrate with colors. Similar to that, it's a tar festival. Okay, another one. Any idea? Identify the festival and where is it celebrated? Huh? Japan.
Spain.
Some answers, no? The previous one I actually helped tar festival.
It's a rain.
I think in Kerala.
No.
Kerala, no, not Kerala. Different countries.
On करिए.
Okay. Songkran water festival in Thailand. Okay, it's a water festival. Songkran water festival in Thailand. It's similar to our Holi. Okay, we use all this water and color and everything. Another one. What is this? Identify the festival and where is it celebrated? What festival?
Diwali.
Diwali is similar to the same festival. Okay, but it is not.
Celebrated in China, I think. China.
Ma'am, I think it's
In Japan, maybe.
Okay, any other answers? No other answers. So it is Lantern Festival, Taiwan. Okay, so it's similar to Diwali, where we light diyas and everything. Whereas in Lantern Festival, it's just floated up into the air. Okay, Lantern Festival, Taiwan. So it's all up in the air, but it's the same kind of festival. Another one. This one I think.
from Spain.
We watch. Yeah, identify the festival. Tomatina festival. It's in Spain. All right. Another one. Is another activity. What is this boy doing? Okay. Focus on the similarities. What do you identify?
Getting ready.
Okay, so
Kite.
kite.
I think he's writing something.
He's writing something. Okay. Can you relate this person to any part of the country or any part of the world as such?
Yeah, in Bengal, we have this celebration, Vishwakarma Pujo, where
Okay.
we have a kite flying, celebration
Okay.
while
Okay.
there's a puja going on.
Okay.
So, yeah.
In Karnataka, we have kite festival during Makar Sankranti.
Makar Sankranti. Okay.
Vasant Panchami.
In
Okay,
UP, it is
Vasant
celebrated.
Okay.
In Delhi.
So yeah, so we cannot say that okay, this person is in a particular place at the moment, right? That's exactly what we are explaining at the moment. Or trying to explain is that it can be any part of the world, the way the person is dressed, or the boy is dressed, or the festival, or anything. So we can focus on the similarities. We have a lot to speak about similarities rather than the differences. Okay. So this does not have one answer. It's like all answers are acceptable. Okay. And now next is to conclude. I've taken a few more quotes to reiterate the same thing about global challenges that you can face. For example, global challenges can be sorted out by following the concept of think global and act local. Now, this is something which we would actually think at the moment, is because when you think globally, you should also be ready to accept whatever is available in your locality. The significant problems that exist today cannot be solved by the same level of thinking that created them. Albert Einstein, again, we speak about, for example, when we mentioned about equality and equity, it has to be tailor-made. Now, oneness of humanity, it is the mindfulness of the other that broadly defines international mindedness, emphasizing a decline in egocentrism in favor of a more considerate and broader way of thinking. How to be, mindful about the other, which makes us as globally minded or internationally minded. Now, share our similarities and celebrate our differences. This is exactly what the entire concept of global mindedness is about. Thank you. So this is about my presentation. Okay. Now we can start discussing the question answers. I have stopped screen sharing. Now what should I do? I'll come back. Hello?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
I have stopped screen sharing. Now, am I
Yes, ma'am.
visible? Am I visible?
Yes, ma'am.
Because of the entire conversation, I was not able to see myself or anyone who was talking to me. Yeah. Okay, so question answers. I mean, so we'll have a couple of questions, so you can either type in over here or you can ask me so that I'll be able to guide you through it, or any slide which you need further explanation, we can discuss that in detail. Okay. Okay, thank you so much. You like the presentation. It's interesting. Okay, fine. Yeah. So how do you bring it in a classroom scenario in a university? So that's the question, or anything, any question. I mean, like if you get free to ask anyone. No questions. It's clear to all. Because the reason, yeah.
Ma'am, I have one question.
Yes, Kapil Joshi.
Yeah, ma'am, how do you think globalization has impacted local culture and traditions?
How do you think globalization has influenced?
Has impacted local culture, or we are talking about the tradition?
Yeah. That's the reason why I mentioned about, the traditions and culture which we have may be slightly different from the others. All right. The problem arises when we try to say that, okay, this is how specifically it has to be followed by being non-inclusive. Okay, for example, in the festival you mentioned about Holi, right? Holi, the similar to that we have seen water festival in Thailand and everywhere. So the thing is that it's not like I am very much non-accommodating to others, then it becomes a problem. All right. So and think local, and that is also very important. That does not mean that we have to deviate from what we are. Right, we primarily are. At the same time, by being aware of everyone's differences, we are actually becoming more and more a globally acceptable or recognized citizen.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Good question. Yes.
Ma'am, what global issue do you care about the most?
Yes. Is it Satakshi? Yeah, Satakshi. Yeah.
What global issue do you care about the most, ma'am?
Global,
in your opinion.
Global issue. Can you just be a little bit more specific so that I can? Sadaf, is it Sadaf or Satakshi? Sadaf, is it Sadaf who asked me? Sadaf Gauhar? Yeah.
Hello.
What global issue should be really
Yeah.
worried about, right?
Yeah.
I
In your
think that will be
opinion,
the issues related to the environment. Okay, the environmental problems, and you can see every day something or the other is happening. The entire climate is affected. Climate change is something that we have to be really, really worried about. And maybe the way in which we are getting seasons every day. I mean, like it's not in
ma'am,
summer.
what about your opinion in a social responsibility?
Yes. Social response in the sense, can you simplify the question so that I'll be able to understand me, like what exactly the social response you're looking into? Satakshi Chowdhury, can you just mute yourself or you can type the question? Hello? I think there is some disturbance coming from someone mic is on. Because the other person has asked me a question, but the question is, I think, about... Yeah, I'll provide the PPT. Yeah. I think we should all be looking into the issues related to climate change. At the moment, that is very, very important need of the hour. Yes, Nizam Khan.
Yes, culture is very vague term. Can
I can hear you, Nizam Khan. Actually, Nizam Khan and Samina B, both of you turned your mic. Maybe one at a person, one time at a person. I think they're having a conversation. If you could type in the question, then I can actually, or maybe one person at a time. Samina B, you want to say something? No idea. Satakshi? Satakshi Chaudhary. I think the mic is unknowingly on. I think.
Please on the mic. Please.
Yes. I think anybody from the IT can help us. Mazhar's ID. I think they're having a conversation. Hi, Samina. Thank you. Satakshi Chaudhary. Yes. Any more questions? Actually, yeah, Nizam Khan, you have a question. Can you just ask me?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, what is the
I have
question?
a question. The question is that this term culture, it seems to be, can we summarize sentences so that we can have a good idea of what is culture?
Okay. Nizam Khan?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Now I think you're the only one who was audible. Until now, everybody was mic was on. Yeah. You spoke about culture. Yeah.
I want to know that this culture term seems to be somehow vague. We don't know what is the limitation of this word. Can it be possible to give the answer or give definition in few sentences so that we can understand what culture actually is?
No, you cannot. It's highly problematic, and that's the reason why, rather than, in the beginning itself, I mentioned that, there are multiple ways in which we are interpreting. At the same time, you have to be really, really conscious, because if you're not able to handle it in the way it is, it can also backfire. Okay, you may unknowingly hurt someone. So that's the reason why you cannot define culture. For example, what is culture for you may be different for another person. That's the whole point, right? What is your body language may be different for another. Maybe your eating habits are different for another person. But that does not mean that one is superior about the other. Okay?
For making the students understand about culture, can we take some examples from PK movie? That
PK movie. Okay, PK movie. Yeah. You can actually, but that again is an alien, right? now, in order to show that this is how culture is, we cannot. But at the same time, you can say that these are the different practices that are there in different parts of the world. Now, you take a uniform decision about how being a knowledgeable person. Okay, it's always good to be a little bit step back and diplomatic in handling sensitive issues rather than, unknowingly, saying that this is what I want and inviting someone. That's what I would say, because we come across students in different scenarios in different classrooms, and they come and sit in our classrooms. It's an ongoing process. So I would say that culture cannot be defined in one term. It is a sensitive area, so you can give them different definitions and options in which they can explore it and try to understand. They have their own informed decision. But at the same time, you can also make them aware that they are not hurting anybody.
Also, ma'am, I think while taking classes, we should also create an awareness among the students that in this global environment, you should not, especially on social networks, you should not be very vocal, because
Yes.
issues like what Trump did just now,
Yes.
just a few days back. So things, for their own interest, they should be, more restrained and be aware.
Yeah. But at the same time, being aware does not mean that they don't have an identity or the freedom to speak. All right, there must be forums in which they are permitted to speak or express their feelings, or else they will think that, okay, I don't have the liberty to say or speak or anything. But make them understand that how is it politically right to speak certain things, how you can speak out your feelings without intentionally or without hurting another person's feelings. I mean, like, that's what we should train, because if anyone is going to talk to you, that does not mean that, okay, I'm going to fight back. There are ways in which you can speak, understand. Right. The similar way in our language, in our social media network, or because, for example, the student is planning to travel abroad for higher studies, this should not become a reason why his visa is, blocked or things like that. So make them aware that, these are the consequences, but how to speak the other way around, not for, not to gain attention or not to do something or suppressing your own identity, but that there are ways in which you can put forward certain things. So that you are not going away from your own identity, your culture. At the same time, you are actually, promoting them how to be a responsible citizen. Yeah, that's a wonderful question. I can see there are question. How can we apply global perspectives to the subject I'm teaching? Okay. For example, any area or a concept. This is by Arpit Goel, right? Okay, so global purpose, for example, you are teaching a concept in class. You can bring in examples from your real life scenarios, or maybe, for example, an advertisement or a movie, something that you've watched, so that you give them a situation and you look at their response about how is the way that they are responding. So if they are responding unaware about their scenarios, because there are a lot of situations when we come across political sensitive issues and all, they may blindly follow what has been said to them by their friends or by their peers without knowing that this is right or wrong or what exactly the scenario is. So it's good to sensitize them so that you can, apply these elements in every example that you speak in class, so that you yourself have to be aware what exactly is happening around. All right, I hope I have answered. Okay. Next one, we can integrate various strategies that promote cross-cultural understanding, critical thinking, and shared humanity. That is good. You can integrate. Yeah. Okay. Any other questions? Yes, Abida Khan. I will share the PPT with the UGC team. I think they can forward it to everyone.
किसी और को कोई क्वेश्चन करना है? शाहीन मैडम,
yes.
प्रभावशाली अपना प्रेजेंटेशन प्रस्तुत किया। ग्लोबल वाइटनेस एंड यूनिवर्सिटी एक्टिविस्ट पर और अपने विषय में उन्होंने ग्रामीण भारत के साथ साथ विश्व के अन्य क्षेत्रों की जो परंपराएं हैं, संस्कृति है, त्योहार है और सामाजिक जुड़ाव, सामाजिक सौहार्द आदि चीजों के विषय में बहुत अच्छा विस्तृत ज्ञान हमें दिया। उन्होंने हैप्पीनेस, हाथ मिलाना, हाथ जोड़ना, नमस्कार करना, इन सब की जो अंतरराष्ट्रीय स्तर पर पहचान है उसके बारे में बताया। विभिन्न जो सांस्कृतिक विभिन्नताएं हैं, जो हमारी फेशियल या हमारी बॉडी लैंग्वेज से हमें एक्सप्रेशन मिलते हैं उसके बारे में, और जो डिनर एथिक्स है कि खाना परोसने के क्या तरीके हैं उसके बारे में, और सबसे महत्वपूर्ण चीज उन्होंने वसुधैव कुटुंबकम के बारे में हमें बहुत ही प्रभावशाली अपना प्रेजेंटेशन दिया, जिसके लिए हम तहे दिल से आपका शुक्रिया अदा करते हैं। और इस उम्मीद के साथ कि आने वाले टाइम में आपका यह प्रेजेंटेशन, इसी तरह के बहुत सारे प्रेजेंटेशन हमें सुनने को मिले और आपकी बहुत अच्छी यादों के साथ और बहुत अच्छे प्रेजेंटेशन के साथ आप हमेशा हमारे दिलों में रहेंगी। और हम उम्मीद करते हैं आप हमारे इस व्यवहार के साथ हमें दोबारा अपने प्रोग्राम में इनवाइट करेंगे जरूर।
जरूर।
किसी और को कुछ पूछना है? हेलो
Ma'am, I don't want to ask anything from Shaheen ma'am, but I would like to praise the ma'am. Just he was speaking in the beginning when he started this program. I was wondering whether this is a human voice or some machine, some kind of machine. So she is very good at speaking and introducing. Thank you, ma'am.
इस सत्र में जुड़ने वाले सभी महानुभावों का बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद। इस उम्मीद के साथ कि अगले सत्र में आप समय से हमारे साथ जुड़ने का प्रयास करेंगे। एक शॉर्ट ब्रेक के बाद हम दोबारा मिलते हैं 4:30 पर और उम्मीद करते हैं आप समय का ध्यान रखते हुए उस सत्र में हमारे साथ जुड़ेंगे। धन्यवाद मैडम, बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया आपका इतने प्रभावशाली और इतने शानदार प्रेजेंटेशन के लिए।
Thanks.
Thank you.
I'm happy to hear all that. Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone. Yeah. Bye bye. So I'll leave the meeting.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Bye.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for the lovely session.
Yeah, bye bye.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye, ma'am. Thank you so much, ma'am.